he dropped out. He had some kind of injury, so there was no Tiger Woods through the duration of the Masters.
Ow, my foot.
But I did, Derpy. I paid special attention to that just for you.
Wasn't it good?
Yeah, it was all right. Some dude, John, how you pronounce his last name? R-A-H-M. Rahm. John Rahm. He won the 87 Masters. So there you are. Welcome, everybody. Welcome back to the Two Dumb Yinzers. This is episode 283. Good morning, guys. What's going on?
What is up, homie?
Not too much. We got I got the lineup here today, guys. Leading off for the day, Mike, is going to be some Pittsburgh Pirate talk. The Pirates, there was a little injury yesterday. I think we could call it a little injury.
Yeah, little injury.
Is that is that going to cripple the Pirates' chances in their fast start this season? Batting second today, we're going to be talking about the Pittsburgh Penguins. The Penguins, they are hot, Mike. They are catching fire at the right time. Right time. Yep. Batting in the hole. We have some Pittsburgh Steeler and NFL talk. Mike, there's some in Derpy, a lot of things that I know that Derpy wants to talk about. I've been getting information and text over from him about some things going around, especially in the division. And cleaning up today in the lineup is going to be the new football leagues coming up, Mike, because the XFL is winding down. We have the USFL. We have the Pittsburgh Passion getting ready to play here. So we have a full lineup today, guys. I want to start off with this Pittsburgh Pirates team. A couple of things went down over the weekend. Of course, everybody knows they were coming home the last time we talked to one another to open up on Friday night against the Chicago White Sox at home. This was going to be their home opener.
Yes.
They were coming off a clean sweep over Boston, which surprised a lot of people. They won the pitching duel up there in Boston, but they came home and they ran into a different kind of team. This AL Central Chicago White Sox team. Mike, these guys from top to bottom, they could hit the ball.
They could too, man. They were I actually got a chance to sit down and watch some of the games this weekend, and I was impressed by their offense.
This team's built different, man.
Yeah, they were just hitting everything, it felt like.
They really were. The game, there was a nice build up for it. I couldn't wait for this. This was even bigger than the game for people in Pittsburgh here. Andrew McCutchen, he finally just got back to town. He went and he played for a couple other teams. Now he's back where he belongs to stay. And you know what? Anybody that thought that this guy was over and past his prime, maybe he is getting up there in age. Maybe he did lose a little.
The man hit a dinger.
But he did. He hit a dinger. The guy hit doubles. This guy, Andrew McCutchen right now he's the least of my concerns. The least of my concerns with this Pittsburgh Pirates team at this moment. Let me give you some scores first, and then we'll get into it. So on Friday, the Steelers beat the Bears 13-9. I mean, the Pirates beat the White Sox 13-9. And as I said, the White Sox didn't finish there. This offense, and as they noted on the game, was a very, very, very talented offense. They said that if it was not injury prone last year and had so many injuries, this team would have did a lot better. They have a great offense. They pound the hell out of the ball. As a matter of fact, they scored 20 runs off of us in the first two games of this series, guys. 20 runs. They had, I don't recall, I think it was 11 runs in one game, 9 runs in the other game, but 20 runs, which made me be a little bit concerned going into the week. Into the rubber match on Sunday. I thought, how are we going to keep up with these guys? These guys are pounding the ball. But you know what? It came down to a pitcher's duel. Pittsburgh Pirates pull off game 3. They win the series 1-0, Mike. They win that game 1-0 to win the series over the White Sox, sorry. And this team they're sitting at 6-3, 9 games in. And let me just make a quick note to you guys real quick here. And again, yes, it's 10 games in. Sue me, kill me, shoot me, whatever you want to do. But the Pirates are 6-3, along with the Twins and the Yankees. There's only 2 teams better than those teams with the 6-3 record. One of them being the Milwaukee Brewers, who's directly in front of us at 7-2. And then the American League powerhouse, the Tampa Bay Rays.
Where's the greatest team in baseball?
9-0. 9-0. Who starts off 9-0?
How the heck are they 9-0?
Because they're the best team in baseball.
But as I told you, Mike, I tend to break down baseball season like this.
Yeah.
You take your first 10 games, and then you look at those 10 games, and then you get a feel for what just happened. You look at the teams you play, look at the amount of runs you score, look at your pitching, and then you get a feel, and then you put that aside. And then you take your second 10 games, and you do it again and again. You do it 16 times throughout the season, and then I think you get a pretty fair assessment of what your team really is. So
Yeah.
at the end of today, which they do have the Houston Astros coming fresh off the World Series win last year. They're coming to Pittsburgh tonight to start a 3-game series against the Pirates. This will be the 10th game of the Pirates season. So I'm going to take a look at this again. I understand there's still 15 more of these sets of 10. That's fine. But we're going to take a look at this moving forward because, you know what, starting off in your first 10 games, let's say if they could go 7-3 tonight, that's a hell of a start. Nobody expected it from the Pirates. Maybe people from within, maybe, I don't know. But and Mike, are you surprised? Are you surprised at this point that they're sitting at 6-3?
A little bit, just a little surprised. Like we've seen this from the Buccos before in the past when they've gone on to have bad seasons. They'd start out, with a decent record.
Yeah.
So it's not that surprising, but the way with our pitching, the pitching that we have is terrible. So that's more surprising to me. It makes this go around a little bit more surprising. But it's still early, so I'm not getting my hopes up, and I'm not like going, oh, the collapse is coming. I'm still kind of like, it is what it is right now. It's very early in the season. We played 1/16 of the season,
Right.
so there's a long way to go. It's still, when it comes to the Buccos, I'm still wait
162 for a reason.
Still call me at the All-Star break, okay? Call me at the All-Star break to see how these Pirates are doing. Baseball is unbearably long. It's needlessly long. It should only be like 80 games, like the NBA and the NHL. Get it over and done with, okay? But no, I'm a little surprised because of that pitching, but also I'm not, because we've seen this in the past, man. We come out to like nice little runs like this. So I'm not optimistic. I'm not pessimistic. I'm coming like, I'm enjoying the
Just
ride.
kind of feeling it out and enjoying it. Yeah.
Just enjoying it. I'm like, when it comes to baseball, I'm not a baseball fan. I'm just a Pirate fan because they're my hometown team. I can give two licks about baseball, but Buccos are on. There's nothing to do yesterday after all the stuff was done. So I was like, all right, sit back and watch the game a little bit. So it was enjoyable, but it was like,
You know what's impressed me, fellas?
What's that, Derpy?
The fans.
In what sense?
Showing up.
Yeah.
28% attendance last night's really not showing up.
Well, that's a really good point. But if you watch around the league, as I was watching around the league this weekend, not many fans did show up to the stadium. It's still not baseball season yet, guys. I think they packed the stadiums for the opening day, and then you get home for that opening day, and those are mainly the heavy games. Unless you're you're a Yankees fan or you're a Dodgers fan. I mean, you're by default.
Yeah,
but I watched the Braves. The Braves didn't pack their stadium, and these other teams that are pretty good, they're not packing their stadium. Let me bounce back to Friday, guys. It was, like I said, it was pretty amazing. They had a warm welcome for Andrew McCutchen, his mom, from 10 years ago, who sang the national anthem for the 2013 wild card playoff game. Of course, you remember, against the Reds. They had her back last night or on Friday night to sing the national anthem. Beautiful voice. I don't know how Andrew McCutchen kept dry eyes this game. I don't know how. But it was really fun. If you were a Pirate fan, especially if you were following that team 10 years ago, AJ Burnett, of course, he came and threw out the first pitch. Russell Martin was there. Jason Grilly was there. Neil Walker was up in the box. And even RJ McReynolds, or RJ, what was his name? RJ Reynolds. RJ Reynolds from back in the day, Mike, when we were little kids. RJ Reynolds, remember number 23, the right fielder?
God, no.
Even RJ Reynolds was at the game. It was a packed house on Friday. And as Derpy said, it did over the weekend. It got a little thin, but you know what? As I said, look around the league. Nobody is really selling out right now. It's the first couple of games. There's still 150 some games left. I don't think people are rushing out to get their tickets at the moment. A couple other things did go down over the weekend, guys, for this Pittsburgh Pirates team. Now, Mike did mention, talk to me at the All-Star break.
Mm-hmm.
And then one of the other main reasons I'm going to talk to you at the All-Star break is because that's when Oneil Cruz is expected to be back.
Yeah.
The All-Star break, guys.
Breaking O'Neill's ankle.
Oneil Cruz fractured his ankle on a terribly awkward slide into home plate. I don't even know what happened. I'd seen his arms go like this at one time, and next thing you know, he was on the ground holding his leg. It's going to be 6 to 8 weeks plus about a month of rehab games.
Yeah.
So they're penciling him in roughly around the All-Star break. So the All-Star break is going to be big this season. But I'm going to tell you why. Listen, guys, I'm going to tell you why this isn't going to affect us that much. If you'd watch the Pirates over these first 9 games, Oneil Cruz was only hitting 250. He's literally got one of the lowest averages on the team so far in this lineup. Connor Joe, he had 4 hits the other night for 3 doubles. McCutchen, as Derpy stated, he had a couple hits. He had a home run. The guy, he still could play. Reynolds is playing out of his mind. Brian Reynolds, he's on pace for 87 home runs. Obviously, we know that's not going to happen, but to be on pace at this point, he has also 14 RBIs at this point, and he's batting .405. Also, a couple other people, again, Santana, he hit a jack the other day. So, I mean, these guys, and then Bay and Delay, they both had 3 hits the other day.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, these guys, Mike, I don't see why they should let the Oneil Cruz situation slow this team down. I say you're going to get an opportunity to put Rodolfo Castro in the lineup and move Hayes around a little bit.
Yeah,
I think that's going to be the adjustment. You're going to still have your outfield. You're still going to have the rest of your infield. You're pitching, you're catching. The soft spot that I spoke about last week was the starting pitching, which I didn't change my mind. I thought Velasquez did great yesterday in the 1-0 game. But you know what? In the game the other day, Mike, in that where Rich Hill started, we won this game. But I mean, come on, the guy's 43.
Yeah,
he's hanging it up there. He's a southpaw. He's kind of just hanging the ball over the plate. They knocked a couple out in 1 inning. And seriously, if this offense wasn't red hot as it is right now, we should have lost that game. Rich Hill is going to be the dead weight as the season goes on. I'd like to see them replace him, but the Pirates do this, and they've always done this. They get this left-hander in the rotation. He doesn't do too great, and they just keep him in there as a rotation spot. That could get frustrating at times, especially if it continues to happen like it did the other night. Luckily, like I said, the bats were alive that saved them.
Yeah, like we said earlier, in the season preview, like hitting's going to be what carries this team. Losing Cruz though for me, I think that is a big loss because right now he's not doing much, but the potential is there. We saw, once if he gets hot and rolling like he did last year after his call up, he could be a big game changer. And the way Brian Reynolds is playing, totally rebounding the way he played last year.
He wants that contract, man.
Heck yeah, he's showing Huntington why this is why you pay me.
Yeah,
this is why you give me the money that I am asking for. This is why you give me these voidable years. And that's what they should do. This dude, he's carrying this team right now. He's doing what a star player should do, and he's playing like a star right now. But I do think that loss of Cruz is going to create a hole in that lineup. Teams fear him. Maybe not as much as we like to think, or a lot of Pirates fans like to think, but he still has that potential. You throw one bad pitch, he's going to crush that ball. He's going to do something out of the ordinary. But it's going to suck now because we started out 6-3. He's really good defensively. That's going to be a hole right there. What's going to happen there? But more or less like the potential. It's always there. So now it's gone out of that lineup. How are you going to replace that? But you know what? They might actually do better having someone in there who has a little higher batting average, a little better on base percentage than Oneil Cruz. We're not going to get these crazy, oh my God, he hit the ball at 5,000 miles an hour. No one's ever hit it that hard before. None of that BS. We'll get actual baseball being played and talk
about it too, Mike,
instead of the fluff.
Is this. As we stated earlier, multiple times, the All-Star break is a special time in a baseball season. You get to really monitor where you're at that point in the season. You're in July. You're looking at things. You're seeing how your team's performing. You get to take a look around and get an idea if you were going to be a buyer or seller at the trade deadline. Now, I think that this gives a lot of encouragement, and it could also keep a positive head within the Pirates locker room because you got Oneil Cruz coming back to your lineup. So let's work hard, let's play hard, let's win some baseball games, and then at that right around the All-Star break, we could be getting our star player back. So that is something that let's hold down the fort until he gets home. And if they could do that, that could give them something to be encouraged by, to work towards, to make sure we get to that point where we're still in contention. That way, when we get our big dog, Oneil Cruz, back in the lineup and back out in the field, we could then maybe make a nice run going into the second half of the season. So I'm not too concerned about this Oneil Cruz. Yes, it's damning. Yes, you don't want this guy to go down. You don't want him to go down with a broken ankle, for crying out loud. But the thing is, I don't think it's the worst thing ever. I think things could be worse off. And as I said, what the team has done after 9 games, and again, only 9 games, if they can continue to do this with the guys that they have, and have that light at the end of the tunnel, knowing that you're going to get Cruz back. And Cruz is going to be sitting around for 3 months watching a lot of baseball. He's going to be studying the game, and he's going to be anxious. He's going to want to get back in there. He's going to want to hit the cover off the ball. And I think that it's going to all work out eventually once you get to the All-Star break and beyond.
Mm-hmm.
I like where this team is going, guys. They have the Houston Astros again, who won the World Series last year. They're coming into town tonight for 3. Contreras will be on the hill for the Pirates. This game starts at 6:30. Pirates are 6-3, and the Astros are 4-6. Now, in the division, we are 1 game behind the Brewers. Again, the Brewers have one of the best records in the league at this point. We're behind them by 1 game, and then we're ahead of Chicago and Cincinnati by 1.5 games. Mike, you hit it on the head the other day when you said there's always that one team. There's always a team that's ahead of us, no matter what the sport is, whether it be the Steelers, Penguins, Pirates, Pitt, whoever. There's always a team. We can never be that front runner who just leads the whole way through the season.
Yeah. And why does it always have to be Milwaukee? They're always a thorn in our side. Like, I remember, like, wasn't like in the 3 years we made it to the playoffs, like always in the regular season, that would be like our stumbling block. We'd go up against them and like, oh, we're going to jump the Cardinals. We're going to jump the Cubbies. Here comes Milwaukee, and they just beat us. Like, we cannot beat the Brew Crew. For as long as I can remember, they have been a thorn in our side.
Mike,
they're like I hate them.
Yeah, no, you're right. And what we truly need to change that all around is Randall Simon. We need to sign Randall Simon back.
Yes, we need him
for
back
the games in Milwaukee so he could beat them sausages across the knees, because that seemed to shake people up over there in Wisconsin. But
that was like the biggest travesty in American history right there. Ever since you can trace like the downfall of everything in the entire world to that day when he lightly tapped that sausage on top of the head and she fell over. That's the downfall of Western civilization right there. Now,
the downfall of the game yesterday, of course, we won this game, but we spoke about this injury to Oneil Cruz. Oneil Cruz broke his ankle. The dugout's cleared, the bench is cleared, guys even come out from the outfield, from the bullpen. Everybody wanted a piece of this action because the catcher, whatever. I found it to be just an ugly slide, an ugly situation. And a guy is 6'7". I think you're eventually going to have these issues in any sport just because you're tall. These guys that are tall have knees, they have ankles, they always have these leg problems. But like I said, what are you going to do? What are you going to do at this point?
I had nothing wrong with it. Like Oneil, like the catcher blocked the plate like he's supposed to nowadays, like with his 1 foot there. Oneil Cruz, he thought about running through and sliding, so he did an awkward thing and it rolled them both up. The catcher got up, was pissed too, because catcher's mad. Catcher got his ankles and needs rolled too, so he gets up, leans back, and starts saying what he has to say. He doesn't care that the guy's laying there. He's mad. He's going to let him know, hey, why'd you do this to me? And I found nothing wrong with it. People want this catcher suspended. They think he's a villain. No, he got hurt. He could have gotten seriously injured too, and he let this guy know. So I have no problem with what he did. To me, like, most of the fault lies with Oneil Cruz with that awkward slide. You got to make your mind up quick, and he did it. And this is what happens. Learn how to slide, buddy. Learn how to slide.
Nobody
sucks that you're hurt.
And Chicago White Sox, I mean, that's I didn't take anything away from that series from them being a dirty team. I thought they were a hot team.
Yeah,
I thought they hit the ball really well, and we were fortunate to win this game 3-1-0. But as far as being dirty, as far as it's crazy talk. Nothing out of the ordinary happened. It was an awkward slide, and unfortunately for us, we have to eat it for about 3 months. But it is what it is, right?
It's sports. Shit happens. The catcher, he's in the heat of the moment. He could have been seriously injured too. So he's just gonna, get up and yell at the person who did it to him.
Yeah.
But
hey, 6-3, guys. Like I said, we'll talk a little bit more tomorrow as it hits that 10-game mark. We'll see where we stand. I want to see where we stand against Houston. We should be. I'm ready. And as they implemented this pitch clock and the batter's clock and all the clocks, I love it. I can tolerate baseball again. I can tolerate it. And it just so happens that our team's playing well. So I am enjoying these Pirate games, and you will know that I'll be watching that game this evening.
You know what's going to make baseball even better?
What's that?
Turn the blind eye against steroid use.
Add
the pitch clock, turn your blind eye to steroids, because we're already talking about launch angles and exit velocity. You know what? Just let them juice up again.
Yeah.
Turn an eye to it, and you want America's pastime to be baseball because that's what it needs to be.
Well, here's the thing.
Let them juice.
What are you concerned
First
about?
of
Yeah,
all.
you concerned about the kids? Is it, you don't want the guys to juice because of the kids? I mean, you have the WWE on. You have at this point in the game,
kids are going to do what they want to do anyway.
Your kid, that your sport is suffering. It's the last. It's the last of the major four sports. You got to do something. I think that going with the clocks was a good step forward. But on the other hand, as you said, I wouldn't be totally against the guys juicing as well. I think that they do it anyway,
right?
But
they do it anyway. People still get caught for it.
Yeah.
It's just let them do it. So monitor it. Make them have a doctor's note. It's like, hey, this is my cycle. This is what I'm on.
Yeah.
This is what
and
I'm
doctors
off.
go down to Tijuana or baseball players. You get any of your doctors to sign anything for you.
Like if you used steroids, prescribed by a medical professional and follow a regime with them, it could be good. It'd be a positive for you.
I don't want to leave you out, brother.
Jack it up.
I agree 100%. Derby, I don't want to leave you hanging, man. What's your take on what happened to the Pirates over the weekend, bud?
Sorry.
No, you're good.
I was messaging someone. Sorry.
What's your take on what happened with the Pirates overall this weekend?
I love the brawl.
Yeah, the brawl is good. I like that too.
Baseball brawls are the worst brawls in sports.
You know what I always think? When them guys come out of the bullpen, I think, who's afraid of these guys? I'd go after them. If I was fighting, I'd go right to them.
If you notice, like 98% of the guys are just sitting there because they have to be there.
Yeah.
They're like, this is, the majority of them, like, this is like the dumbest thing ever.
Yeah. Unless they're all on the ground and they're brawling and they have the big, the big pow on the ground. I like that. Also, I did want to state before get right back to you, Derpy. Bednar does also lead the league in saves so far. He has 4 saves and 4 attempts. I don't think he's given up a run, a bunch of strikeouts. So keep your eye open for Bednar, another red hot Pirate. But go ahead, Derpy.
See, we like you said, we can't judge the season yet.
Right.
It's not 10 games. It's not even. It just started, so that's why you play 162 for a reason. But
we play 162.
Yes, you play 162 for a reason, but
play 82 for a reason.
Oneil is a big blow, but the way your bats are going and the way the pitching's going, as of right now, you can't the team can't not believe that they can compete.
Right.
Because from what I'm seeing, that this is. Pirate fans should be optimistic as of right now.
I agree with you 100%. Not just because I'm a homer, not just because it's my team, but as watching it as a fan of sports, I would agree with you 100%. And everything that I've seen that led up to this point in these first 9 games, again, Oneil Cruz didn't have a huge part to do with that. So as they take him out and put somebody else in, maybe we could seamlessly make the adjustments and continue to win baseball games and win series. You're not going to sweep every game or every series like they did in Boston. You're not going to win every series like you did with Chicago, but you want to win games, continue to try to win series and keep doing that until, again, I mean, Cruz is one guy. You got all these pitchers, you got relief pitchers, you got closers, you got hitters. I think that Derpy did hit it on the head as well as Mike. I think that the Pirates fans do have something to be optimistic about. And at this point, I still do believe that the Pirates believe in themselves. I don't think the injury to Oneil Cruz broke the spirit of this team, and nor should it, because if that's what you're going to do, you're going to fall apart. If one guy gets hurt, that's crazy. That means you believe in nobody else on your team. I think this team is built different. I expect them to win more games. If we're 6 weeks into it and they blow it and they lose 10 games in a row, that's a whole different story. We'll talk about that then. But as of right now, 116 through the season, things are looking good.
The battling buckos.
Battling buckos, guys.
The battling bucks.
Then we're going to go to the second up. My second at bat today is the Pittsburgh Penguins.
Yes.
Now this story is getting interesting to me. The Penguins, who is so inconsistent throughout this whole season, through the entire thing. We read the numbers last week. They couldn't stay consistent for more than 6 games at a time. Now they win 2 in a row. Of course, the one we talked about last week when they beat the Wild 4-1 on Thursday night.
That one shocked me.
You and everybody else. So then they play the Red Wings on Saturday. Now the Red Wings, okay, I mean they're not that great this year, but it's the Red Wings again. You know, you play a franchise. Sometimes it's just a good franchise, and they're going to be good no matter what. The Penguins beat them 5-1.
Yeah.
So here we go. Crosby gets a nice backhand. He ends up with 2 goals. Malkin ends up with 2 goals. Heine ends up with 2 goals. Nylander ends up with 1 goal and 1 goal. These guys, Mike, they're starting to play now. They're getting hot at the right time. Do you think this carries over? Because there's still a lot that needs to be done with 2 games left in the season.
Yeah, there are still some issues there, especially on the back end of defensemen. You know,
yeah,
they keep activating, they keep pushing in, keep rushing in. Like, no, stay back. So it's like people like Petrie. Why are you jumping into the play at all?
Yeah,
your ass should be standing at the blue line, ready to go back on D. I'm tired of seeing forwards having to cover for a defenseman pinching when we're already up. You know, this is what happens, guys. You give up multiple odd man rushes a game, but you know they were able to overcome that. They were able to, you know, through forwards back checking, through goalies stepping up, they were able to, you know, not blow leads. They weren't giving up goals quick at the beginning of periods, at the ends of periods. We didn't score a goal, let the other team score immediately. So those things are cleaned up. It's nice to see. It would have been nice to see this months ago cleaned up, but I guess better late than never. And the thing that sucks is how well we're playing. So is Florida. So are the Islanders.
What's the chances?
It is frustrating beyond belief. But
this is what happens when you let it out of your own hands, and now you have to depend on other people, and that's where it gets really frustrating because you have no control. You have no control what Florida does, what the Islanders do. I would have expected both of those teams to already have lost one.
Yeah,
they haven't lost yet since we had this conversation last week.
Yeah, and I think I said that like it wouldn't be funny if we play our best hockey down the stretch and the other 2 teams don't lose, and it's what's happening. So it's my fault. But I do want to say Sidney Crosby with the 5th, 6th fastest player to 1,500 career
Absolutely.
Points. That is insane. Once again, another notch in his belt of being top 5 greatest player of all time.
Absolutely. And he's only the 15th player in NHL history to do so. The 15th player to 1,500 points and the 6th fastest. So
that's insane. God, and he's all year he's been lights out.
Yes. Seems like his production never drops off no matter what.
It doesn't, like if it, like say he'll have games of stretches, like every player has it where you're not scoring.
Right.
But he's that player where he's not scoring. Guess what? He's doing all the little things right to make sure the team wins, to make sure he's playing responsible hockey 200 feet. That's why Crosby, man, you can never fault him for effort. He will give you everything he has every night. He's not going to cheat you. He will play smart hockey all night long. And
as I said, Mike,
he's the best. He is the best.
So 40, 30, and 10 at this time with 2 games left.
Nuts.
Tonight is a big night for the Penguins. We don't even play. The Panthers, they play at home against Toronto tonight.
Yes.
And the Islanders, they play at Washington tonight. They're both sitting there with 91 points, just directly ahead of us with 90 points.
Mm-hmm.
We, of course, have to do better than one of these 2 teams, with all 3 of us having 2 games left. As I stated, the Panthers play Toronto tonight, and then also they play at home again on Thursday against Carolina. The Islanders, they play at Washington, and then they come home on Wednesday to host the Habs, Montreal. The Penguins, now we get to sit back, watch what these guys do tonight. Then we get back at it tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
We host the Chicago Blackhawks, 7:30 game. Then we finish up on Thursday at Columbus. So, here in 72, 3-4 days, we're going to know what, the future of this team. Is they going to go to the playoffs? Are they not going to make a play? Or are they just right now starting to get hot and bring it together and decide, hey, this is when we're going to play our good hockey. Let's get in and carry that over into the playoffs. With that information that I just read off, Mike, this time on Friday, let's say, is this Pittsburgh Penguins team getting ready for a first round game?
My pessimistic nature is going to say no.
Okay.
in my heart, I am saying yes, we are. And we're going to get ready for a first round upset because we are playing the best hockey we played all year. They're playing their best at the right time, but I have a feeling it's just a little too late. I hate to say, but I think it is, because I'm watching these other games, highlights from the other games. These other teams, they're playing good hockey too.
They're playing, yeah.
And I did see before we got on air, I was going through the Twitter, and someone leaked, not leaked, but they were just saying, hey, here's the line combinations like Toronto had at their morning skate already. And it looks like they are playing this game like it's a playoff game. They have all their guys ready to go. Come on, Mitch Mariner, you need 2 more points to get to 100 for the year. Get those 2 tonight. Austin Matthews, show why you're one of the best young players in the league. Put on a show tonight for us.
I think one of these two teams beats Florida.
Ovi, you need a hat trick. It's been a while since you've had a hat trick. I think you need a hat trick.
I think it's very unlikely that both of these teams win their last 2 games against Toronto and Carolina for the Panthers, and then the Capitals at Washington, and then home against the Canadians for the Islanders. I don't think that both of these teams are going to win out. I just don't. So if we can play it, be hot, just hot enough to finish off Chicago, to finish off the Blue Jackets, Mike, I think we're going to sneak in just because, as I said, I don't think the Panthers. The Panthers are the ones that I'm hung on. I could see the Islanders beating the Capitals, and I could also see them beating the Canadians. But for the Florida Panthers to beat Toronto and Carolina, both at home, albeit, but I just don't see Florida winning both of those games. I think that's where we slide in if we could continue to play hot hockey. Finish off the Blackhawks and finish off the Blue Jackets. So we'll see, Mike, here in a couple of days.
We'll see. Man. Because these 2 teams are next 2 games are 2 very winnable games for the Penguins. Games they should win, especially the way they are playing. But we've been saying that all year. Those are the games they end up losing.
Ain't that the truth?
And it's frustrating. I don't want to see it happen. I don't want to be pessimistic, especially when it comes to my Penguins. But I just have that sinking feeling in the pit of my stomach that something's going to happen. They're going to lose. The other 2 teams are just going to win out. Or the day we lose, it's the day the other 2 teams lose.
Absolutely. It's just the way that it's fallen all year.
Yeah, I think I'm making myself sick thinking about it.
Mike, I do just want to cut you off for 1 second. I want to welcome over on the chat board live. We do have Raphael. I do want to say welcome to the show, Raphael. Nice to have you on, my man.
Oh, representing Brazil.
Absolutely. I love it. But one other thing I do want to touch concerning the Penguins, guys, not so much about the Penguins. Did anybody hear this story with Phil Bourque and his mom? Now, she lost all of her life savings in a scam, apparently. Phil Bourque, the old 2-9er. Everybody knows Phil from the Stanley Cup heyday. Now, his mom, she lost everything, apparently. Everything she had in her life savings to a scammer. Phil Bourque is selling his Stanley Cup rings. He's selling his jerseys. Come on. We got a lot of millionaire friends. Can somebody help the guy out? That's just my opinion. It's a close-knit organization. I don't know how much Phil Bourque's mom's life savings was, but in my opinion, it sucks that he's going to have to sell everything off. I mean, it's certainly not his fault, but it's nobody else's either. But I'd like to see somebody step up and say, hey, you know what, we're family here. Let's help the old 2-9er out. Whether it happens, whether it doesn't, I don't know. But I think that would be a nice ending for that whole situation, because that's very unfortunate. You don't want to see that to happen to anybody.
No. Oh,
it's terrible.
It's disgusting. I hate
to see it. You hate to see it. We're going to go to, you know what, Mike? I switched the lineup. I got on my lineup card and I switched it up. Batting in the hole. We're going to start with a couple of these other smaller leagues, and we're going to work our way to the NFL. We had the big news, and I was jumping. I was chopping at the bit. I wanted to get into that NFL scoop, but let's get into this first.
We'll push that one off.
We'll push it back a little bit. It strengthens the lineup. The XFL this week, Mike, it was week 8, which means this time next month, we're going to be playing a championship game in the XFL. Of course, this is XFL 3.0. I think it's doing rather successful. I don't know what the numbers are entirely, but you're watching these games, you're seeing the crowds build, you're seeing the players, come along as the season moves along. They're playing really good football. I don't think it's a huge drop off to where people should complain. If you like football, sit down and watch one of these games. I do think you're going to enjoy yourself. And I'm going to tell you about a real good one here in a minute. They started off the weekend, Mike. It was the Vegas Vipers, who, of course, is coached by Rod Woodson, the former Steeler, and they played the Battlehawks. That's right. Went to overtime. St. Louis Battlehawks wins this game 21-17. And that eliminates, Mike, the Vegas Vipers out of playoff contention. So they are sitting at 2-6. Rod Woodson's Vipers are eliminated.
Boo.
The second game on to start the weekend, on Saturday, Arlington played Orlando. Arlington wins this game 18-16 over Orlando. That puts Arlington at 4-4, kind of puts them back in the race where I didn't think they were even had a chance to get to. Orlando drops to 1-7. Orlando, the Guardians have been eliminated from playoff contention as well.
They're the worst team in the XFL.
They're very bad. And they were the team that beat DC last week. So who could figure this out?
Right.
Sunday was a good one. Of course, if you were into the San Antonio Brahmas, Hines Ward coaching over there again from the Pittsburgh Steelers. That game was a good one, Mike. It went down to the end. Overtime, the Houston Roughnecks beat the San Antonio Brahmas 17-15 in overtime. More overtime
and more close games. My Lord.
I like it. And the one that I liked last night was the finale of the weekend. It was the DC Defenders versus the Seattle Sea Dragons. Mike, this was a great game. Because of this win, DC clinches their playoff spot. So Houston got in. DC gets in this week. DC wins 34-33. Great game. Seattle comes back all the way to the end of the game, and they key conversion to tie it up.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So they figured they're going to go with the 4th and 15 and do the onside kick situation they have in the XFL. They just couldn't get it. The play pass got broken up. The DC Defenders win 34-33, clinch their spot in the playoffs. Seattle's just as good as anybody else in this league. They will also be in the playoffs eventually. I do believe that. But Mike, I watch for these playoffs to be really good for the XFL.
Oh, yeah. You're looking at the scores here. Like, you read them off. Every game was a close game. And even like the bad teams played pretty well. They kept it close. And I'm liking it. The play is it's getting better and better and better week in, week out. For me, DC is still the class of the league.
I would agree.
Yeah, and they're the ones I'm rooting for, not just because of Beer Snake, but I'm rooting for them. And oh man, there's what? Two games left. Two games
left. Mike, weeks 9 and 10.
2 weeks left. Excuse me. Yeah. Like,
so they got these last 2 games, weeks 9 and 10. Then they got 1 round of playoffs. So you're getting your 2 best teams from the XFL North, the 2 best teams from the XFL South. They play each other. And then the following week will be your championship game. So roughly a month from now, you're going to have an XFL champion. I'm excited about that. We'll get some predictions as it gets a little bit closer to the playoffs. 2 things that I did want to note about players, though, in the XFL, Mike. First off, St. Louis's kicker, I believe his name is Donnie Hageman, Hageman. He's the St. Louis kicker. He sets a new league record, Mike, with a 59-yard field goal.
Ooh,
59. Hey,
that's a leg right there.
That is. NFL got their eye on this guy, I guarantee it.
Oh, easily.
And then the other player, Mike, that I did want to make note about is Martavis Bryant. He kind of fell off. I don't know. I was expecting to see better results from him in the XFL, considering how successful the start of his career was in the NFL. He would be the one that I would say I'm most disappointed with this season, of notable names that you were watching going into the XFL season.
Well, he's older.
Yeah, right.
And he hasn't played balling forever.
Right.
How old is he? I'm trying to look that up. Martavis. Oh my God. If I knew how to type everyone, I would be dangerous. Martavis Bryant. Yeah, because he's old. I saw people like ripping on him too. I'm like, come on now. He was born in 31. He's 31 and hasn't played in. Last time he played pro ball was 2018.
Yeah. So people were expecting more from him. Maybe he's done. Maybe he's done.
Yeah. It'd be different if he was still playing organized ball at a high level out that time, not being in the NFL, but he hasn't played since 2018. So yeah, that's a lot of time for the muscles to atrophy and to lose that ability. Because we saw it with Le'Veon Bell. He missed 2 years, and my God, he was not the same player coming back.
Absolutely. You're 100% right, Mike. He certainly didn't do it. Maybe it's just the end of the road for Mr. Bryan. I wish that it wasn't, because, he did very good things when he was here in Pittsburgh, and you thought that he was going to continue to do that. But unfortunately, that's not the way that it always works out. Also, Mike, the USFL starts this weekend. The Pittsburgh Maulers, they play on Sunday. They play the New Orleans football team, and it's at Alabama. I'm sorry, Alabama, where all the teams played last year.
Yeah.
That is actually New Orleans' home field. And then the following week, we come home to play at our home field, which is at Canton, the Hall of Fame Stadium. But this game, Mike, on Sunday is 6:30 p.m. on FS1. So check out your Pittsburgh Maulers. And then next week, the Pittsburgh Passion, they start the following weekend. So we got more football, Mike. More
football all the time. I am loving it.
I love it.
Maybe one of these teams can get us a playoff victory.
Yes.
That's why I have adopted the DC Defenders, because I think they're going to get us a playoff win.
I like this. I like the Seattle team over there in the XFL. I like Houston, which, like I said, Houston and DC both clinched. It's unfortunate that Seattle and St. Louis are also from the same conference as the DC Defenders, because you have 3 good teams in one division, and then you have 1 good team in the other division.
Yeah,
and 3 bad. So I mean, it stinks that one of those teams are going to get locked out.
Yeah,
those would be my 4 best teams right there: St. Louis, Seattle, DC, and Houston. But as I said, the way the divisions are set up, that can't happen. So I think one of the less better teams are going to get in by default. But hey, anyway you slice, it's gonna be a lot of fun. It's fun watching the 54th guy.
Yeah. I wouldn't surprise me if a couple players make it up into the NFL this year.
I would agree.
You figure that kicker's going to get a camp invite. Probably a couple other players will get camp invites.
Hey, Derpy, did you catch any XFL over the weekend?
No
XFL.
No XFL. He's a hater of the XFL.
That's all right. You don't have to.
Mario was more important. I'm sorry.
You did. You seen the Mario movie? How did you said that was an excellent movie?
Yes.
Now, let me ask you this, Derpy. Did you go to the movie theater to see this movie, Mario?
Yes, I did.
You did? I was asking Mike the other day. I was like, I didn't know if it was a movie or if you actually had to go, or you could watch it on Paramount Plus, but you have to go, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. I will end up seeing it.
I'll wait until anymore. I wait until movies come out on digital.
Yeah.
Like, I don't get me wrong, I love watching them on the big screen, the big surround sound, and a nice cool theater. I just hate people.
Yeah.
So now that everything's getting released earlier on digital, that's perfect for me.
I'll wait too. I'm not going to make my way out to the movies.
Yeah.
I mean,
go ahead.
It's now the biggest animated movie at the box office ever.
No
At least
way.
for the opening.
I saw that it was going to be
opening.
huge. Yeah, I saw it was a huge
What
opening.
was the leader prior to this movie? Do you know? Was it Avatar?
That would be Frozen 2.
Frozen 2.
Frozen 2. Let it snow. Let it snow. Let it snow.
Let it
No,
snow.
I like when the Mario movie comes out on digital, I will watch it. I can't.
All right, there you go, everybody. Check out the Mario movie. Derpy says it's excellent. Mike and I do plan on seeing it eventually. Now we're batting cleanup, guys. Getting to the cleanup position in the lineup. Mike, 17 days to the draft. 17 days to the draft. I can't wait. I'm out of my mind. But there are some things going on in the league that we could talk about before then. As we said last week, we will get more into this draft as we get closer, and that will be the case. But let me catch up on a couple of these stories first.
Yes, hit him up.
Joe Mixon recharged in the case with aggravated menacing.
Yeah.
Aggravated menacing. Now, it was the case where he had the gun pulled on the woman.
Wait, who was charged? Because you lagged a little bit.
Joe Mixon,
the running back from the Bengals. Now, there was this, and then there was the incident with the kid in the house with the gun. And now this is going back to the first one. So whether they dropped the charges, whatever, they're recharging him with aggravated menacing. There's new evidence apparently. So Joe Mixon, I don't know what's going to happen with this guy. I don't know if we're going to see him this season. I just don't know how long the Bengals are going to put up with this. I think once something comes through and it's damning, I think the Bengals will cut their ties. But right now they're just trying to feel it out and see what he did, what he's going to get accused of, what he's going to get charged with. I don't know, Mike. I don't know how
Watch
long.
him drop the running back.
How
First
long
round.
do you put up with this, Mike?
Oh, I wait until the legal process plays out. See what happens.
Yeah.
That's about all you can do is just wait to see what happens, or unless they think they can get rid of him because there's still some good running backs on the market.
Absolutely.
Take a chance. Hey, Saquon Barkley technically still is not signed with the Giants. They redid that whole franchise tender thing, so he's franchised. And
there's a man named Zeke.
Zeke's still out there.
No, Zeke's still out there.
Yeah, Kareem Hunt's still out there.
Kareem Hunt is not signing with the Cleveland Browns.
I figured that was going to be one of your stories there. I saw that where they think he's lost a step. He doesn't have his speed anymore. But I would still I'd kick the tires on him. And there's the guy from the running back who played on the Chiefs last year, or came from the Chiefs, had a pretty good year a year or two ago, and said hey, this running back market is ridiculous. He had 859 yards, over 10 touchdowns, still unsigned. So there's running back depth out there, and if you have a good enough line and good enough system, you might not need a top tier running back. And the way the Bengals use Mixon, they kind of weren't using him as a top tier running back. They put in their backup in key situations, which like in the Super Bowl. Yeah. So if I'm Joe Mixon, get rid of me. Let me go to a place that will use me in crucial downs.
Advice. Yeah, I don't know the guy. I don't like the Bengals, and you know what? I don't even know the guy personally. But geez, oh man, Joe Mixon, get your shit together, dude. Right? You are an NFL football player. Don't throw that away, my man.
Yeah, you did something stupid in college, and you got lucky that the league didn't hold that against you coming in.
Yeah,
like they did some players, and this is what you do. You do the same stupid thing again.
Yeah, you got to clean it up, my man. Come on. Like I said, I don't even like your team. I don't know you personally, but you just hate seeing this. You hate seeing this with these guys. As we said earlier, Zeke, there was some rumors out over the weekend that the Chargers would be possibly the destination for Ezekiel Elliott. And
that could be interesting.
That could be interesting
because they're feuding with their running back.
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, you have Kareem Hunt, who's not, they decide they are, as Mike said, the Browns thinks that Kareem Hunt lost a step. You got Zeke still out there bouncing around. The Chargers rumors are heavy. So you have options. And as Mike says, you're going running back by committee. So, if you could get a decent running back there with Kareem, you still got a pretty good backfield.
Yeah, because right now, let's see, Zeke, Fournette, Kareem Hunt, J.D. McKissick. They're more or less the top ones out available. Yeah. But there's, Kenyon Drake. I didn't realize Kenyon Drake was that old. Wow, never mind. I was going to suggest him. Yeah, he's 29. Hey, Benny Snell Jr. is still available.
Yeah, there you go.
So, but, I take a flyer on Zeke. I take a flyer on Fournette. And I take a flyer on Kareem Hunt if, things go south with Joe Mixon. If they have to eventually, if they do have to cut him for what happened.
We're staying in the division here. Kareem Hunt, Joe Mixon. The other big story, guys, this is the one that Derpy was jumping off the edge of the couch. Mike, everybody's texting me. Odell Beckham Jr. Odell Beckham Jr. He signs 1 year up to $18 million with the Baltimore Ravens. He will be in the division. I don't fear Odell Beckham Jr. at all. I just don't. I thought that we've seen how we could handle a receiver like him when he was in Cleveland. I think that he has less ability in Baltimore unless they fix their quarterback real soon. Whether they're going to go Tyler Huntley, whether they're going to go a different direction, we don't know. But, could possibly be a rookie. We don't know. I'm not afraid, especially for 1 year, afraid of Odell Beckham Jr. at all. Where are you at on this one, Derby?
Can't wait for the drama issues in the locker room.
And then, boy, are they do.
What drama does OBJ have?
Similar to Antonio.
What drama does he have? Like a specific?
Getting along with his teammates, I guess.
Where was that? Was an issue before?
Well,
it's always been an issue for him.
It wasn't an issue in St. Louis?
When he doesn't get his catches.
Wasn't an issue in St. Louis?
I would love to see a bunch of drama come down on these guys because we have gone through it pretty heavily through the past 10 years with different situations. it's about time Baltimore gets the shit. You know, they need to shit into the stick every once in a while.
I think Lamar's coming back.
You think so?
He had like,
but I'm kind of mad we didn't get him though. To be honest.
So you're waiting for the locker room issues. Now you're mad that we didn't get him.
In a way, somewhat.
So he only has locker room issues when he goes to a team that we're going to play against. But when he would come here, he wouldn't be a locker room distraction.
Maybe.
Okay, there's the fanboy answer I wanted to hear. But no, back to the why I think Lamar is coming back. Odell shared a picture of him on Instagram, and it was like him and Lamar doing like a FaceTime talk, and they were both had that big smile on their face. So I think Lamar might,
I still might be coming back. Team. I just don't. They're not. I just don't fear them. Not at this point. They've lost so much. They've lost so much.
Yeah.
On the defense. I mean, yes, there will be an upside. It would be a better team if Lamar Jackson was in there, but yeah. I just right at this point in the season in the game, I'm not scared of Odell. I'm not scared of the Ravens. I think there's bigger fish to fry, and we'll handle. We'll cross those bridges when we get there. Like 1 year ago yesterday, Dwayne Haskins.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, he passed away tragically in Florida. Who knows where we would be, Mike, if that didn't happen? That would have that would be a whole different. We'd have a different team at this point. So that was 1 year ago today. What an unfortunate thing, man. Jeez.
Yeah, I saw before we came on air that his lawyer.
What's that?
That's all I'm gonna say. Sorry.
What, Dwayne Haskins?
Yeah, that's my reaction. But continue, Mike. Sorry.
No, we're good.
You're not a fan of Haskins?
I was a fan of Haskins.
Oh,
yes, I was.
Oh, the Ohio State thing.
Yeah.
Oh, I see with you two. All right.
No, I wasn't going to say anything like that.
I just cut him off. That's probably
he cut me off like always. So I'm just gonna.
I'm sorry.
Right. I'm just gonna sit here in quietness.
That's why I said continue. That was my reaction, though.
Now I thought that he was good. I thought that he wasn't a bad quarterback down in Washington. I was very, very interested to see what he was going to be able to do as a Pittsburgh Steeler. Unfortunately, things went the way they did, and that's not the case. But Dwayne Haskins, 1 year yesterday. Jeez. The other Steeler news, Mike, is this Antonio Brown. Now, you got to explain to me what just happened with what you were telling me over the weekend. Some kind of comment that he made about being, I don't know. What happened?
He said, now that I'm an owner of a team, I understand why it's important to put the team first. I didn't understand that as a player. What an idiot.
What does he own? Who's he own?
I forget what he's
a part of. Is it like an arena football?
Yeah, it's an arena football team. Yeah.
There isn't even an arena football league anymore, is there?
Yeah, like not like the big arena football league, but there's still like arena football.
Bro, you own a little league baseball team for crying out loud.
But it took him this long to figure out the team's more important than your selfish antics. This guy just needs to go away, but he does keep providing great entertainment, even off the field. Yeah, by his shenanigans. But most of the time, like his shenanigans are not fun. They're cruel and evil. At least this one was fun. He's such a dumbass.
Yeah, so there you go. Antonio Brown. He's like Kanye in a way, just shut the fuck up. Just shut up.
Hey, but Kanye likes the Jews now because of Jonah Hill and 21 Jump Street.
Yeah, I can't keep up with him.
Maybe AB needs to watch the Batman movie with Hines Ward running through.
Yes,
Heinz Field's collapse, and that will make him like the Steelers again.
I tell you what, that Hines Ward, man, he's sure taking a different shape, ain't
he? Hines Ward's coming for my weight class.
Wow,
he's going to be the next big sexy. It's funny though, like you see, like the wide receivers get fatter,
like Grimace.
They get bigger when they retire, but like linemen, they just I don't know if you saw the
linemen shrink.
Because we here in Pittsburgh, we saw Alan Faneca go from this big beast of a guy to a beanpole. Now Russell Okung, well, he retired a few years ago, and then
Villanueva.
He's like he's a beanpole. Like Okung is like a beanstalk, man. He was all like pale looking. And I was like, is this guy coming out? I'm not trying to be rude or insensitive, but the way he was standing there in the photo, it looked kind of like I had like a whiter filter on. I don't know what it was, but he looked like he would be an extra in a Holocaust movie. Like, I'm not trying to make fun. He was just that much skinny and like this, how loose his skin was on his body. And they had the picture of him playing and then him there. I'm like, oh my God, who is
Chris
this
Hoke's
guy?
another one. Chris Hoke,
Yeah.
the other nose tackle on that Super Bowl team. He looks great too. Like as you said, all the linemen they shed all that. And they get to a normal weight.
And then the skill position players bulk up.
Yeah, Hines Ward.
They get chunky.
Yeah.
So let that be a lesson to you kids. If you want to be thinner later in life, be a D lineman or an O lineman. If you want to be fit and young, be a skill position player.
Anybody see Travis Kelce's first pitch?
That was a thing of beauty.
I didn't see it. I heard about it. That's why I didn't really bring it up earlier. But
it was great.
What did he do? How bad was it?
The ball bounced. I want to say halfway to home plate or 2/3 way. It was like he's thrown like one pass in the NFL and he had an arm. He had a nice little pass. It got picked off, but when I heard he was throwing out a first pitch, I'm like, all right, he should be able to make it. No, it was bad.
No good, huh?
Oh, it was bad. It's like watching like your little kid try and throw a baseball.
Right.
He should have been out there.
What game was that? Was that Kansas City? Was that,
might have been, yeah. Or Kansas City. Yeah, it had to be, better have been Kansas City because the only other place that he's from, he played his college ball in Cincinnati, and I don't think they're going to have him throwing out pitches for the Reds.
Yeah, right.
With the rivalry between them and the Bengals. But no, it was a work of art.
Yeah, I got to see this. Everyone was talking about it. I caught it on Twitter. I've caught it on social media, but I still haven't seen this first pitch by Travis Kelce.
It was bad. It was. Let's see if I can pull it up here.
Oh, yep. I agree. It was terrible.
Was it bad, Derpy?
Yeah.
Let's just say he spiked the ball.
Hey, as long as he keeps winning those Super Bowls, then he'll be all right.
Yeah.
Derpy, as Mike's looking this up real quick, we got the 2-minute warning coming up on the show here. Right. I just want to do this real quick today. Who is your Steelers' number 1 pick this year? The number 17. Who do you, Derpy, the Derpy Onion, who do you feel is going to be that pick at number 17 this year?
I have 2.
All right.
Porter Jr.
Okay.
And here's a wild one. Kalijah Cansey.
They might try to, they do got to fill in positions on defense as well. Mike, I need who do you think the Pittsburgh Steelers are going to select with their number 17 pick this year, their first pick?
Since Derby had 2, I'm going to have 2. Either Deontay Banks or Broderick Jones, tackle out of Georgia. Yeah. Deontay Banks was the cornerback out of Maryland.
All right. I did see a lot about Broderick Jones this morning. I don't know where his name popped up where all of a sudden it was on about 3 different things I looked at.
Oh, he's been targeted as like a first round pick all
for the Steelers though?
Not for he was like if he would slide there, if he would fall there, if he would, he's been like up and down the draft board.
Yeah.
It's not that he's a bad player. It's just that, there's a lot of tackles in this draft that can go in the first round, a lot of corners. So as the process has gone on, like people are thinking, okay, cornerback might go higher up in the draft. So he might be coming down.
One more real quick question. Did they, in the first 3 picks, they have 3 picks in the first 50. I think the first 2 are going to be either a cornerback and an offensive tackle or an offensive tackle and a cornerback. What is the other position, Mike? I mean, you hear talk about a receiver, you hear talk about a linebacker, you hear talk about a defensive lineman. What would be the third position you think that the Steelers are going to find priority to take with those top 3 picks?
Wide receiver would not surprise me, or an inside or an edge rusher.
All right. What about you, Derpy?
Same.
All right.
Right. I have the Travis Kelce.
There's one thing though that I was just talking about to my father the other day is maybe we trade back.
In which round?
But that's 17.
Trade back and get more
And
picks?
get what?
Get more picks in the second round.
Would you really get it? Would a team really down in the 20s have to give up a second though to move up just a few spots, or would it be an extra third? Do you
The
think?
Jets, though,
Yeah, they may have
in the
extra
second
picks.
round.
Oh, they would trade up from round 2 into round 1.
Yes,
Ooh,
they have two back-to-back picks.
So the Steelers wouldn't have a first round pick, or are you saying the Jets would trade one of their first round picks to the Steelers?
2 of their first round picks. Second round picks. Second round. Not
And
first
that is
round,
the
second
end of
round. 2 their second
regulation.
round.
Mike, why don't you go and tell everybody about the website?
TwoDumbYinzers.com, the number 2, DUMYINZERS.com. Head on over there for everything you need for the Two Dumb Yinders, YouTube, Spotify, Anchor, main platforms to reach us on. We have Facebook links there, Twitter, Instas, and the email address and the merchandise store, all at TwoDumbYinzers.com.
Go check it out, and everybody, www.twodumbninjas.com. Lots of cool stuff over there. We here at the show are on all week long from Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 12 p.m. And we hope that everybody keeps continuing to check us out because we appreciate each and every one of you. Believe me, each and every one of you. Guys, you ready for a little trivia?
Ready.
Now, this one, Derpy, and this one, Mike, this is OBJ trivia. OBJ trivia, the big news in the NFL that we wanted to get out today. OBJ now in the division with the Baltimore Ravens on a 1-year deal. Today is going to be an OBJ trivia. How do you feel? Do you feel comfortable with that, Derpy?
Yes.
Mike?
I'm
OBJ?
ready.
All right.
I'm ready. Yes.
Here we go. In OBJ's career, he has 56 touchdowns receiving. Does he have more touchdowns throwing or rushing? We know that he has 56 touchdowns receiving, but does he have more touchdowns throwing or rushing? I'm going to start with Mike.
Sorry.
No, you're good. OBJ, Odell Beckham Jr. has 56 receiving touchdowns in his career. Receiving. But does he have more touchdowns by throwing or rushing?
I'm going to agree with Derpy. Sounds like throwing.
Throwing? Okay. And Derpy, you said the same thing?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. So the question was OBJ has 56 receiving touchdowns in his career, but does he have more throwing or rushing touchdowns? And they guys both said throwing. So I'm going to go ahead and lock you in. All right. One more time. Odell Beckham Jr. has 56 receiving touchdowns in his NFL career, but does he have the second most amount by way of throw or by way of run? Both guys said throwing. The answer is throwing. It is throwing, guys. He has two throwing touchdowns in his NFL career and one rushing touchdown in his NFL career. 56 receiving. Great job, guys. You both nailed it. He has thrown more than he has ran for.
Yes. Yeah, I know what I'm talking about. So does Derpy.
I feel more successful than the Giants have been in the last few years.
Mike,
they at least made the playoffs last year.
You're right.
Mike, you got anything before we take off, man?
Let's go Capitals. Let's go Toronto Maple Leafs.
Big night tonight. There you go. We got a lot of hockey. We need one of these teams to lose. Both of these teams to lose. We need some kind of losing to go. And then we're back at it tomorrow. Again, the World Series champions are in town tonight. The Houston Astros to take on the Pittsburgh Pirates. A lot of football stuff coming to a head here, guys. We're going to be talking about that a lot this month with these leagues starting, the XFL coming to an end, the draft only 17 days away. So we are going to be full of football. Derpy, what do you got before we take off, man?
Go Pirates and go see the Mario movie.
There you go. Go check out that Mario movie. I know that Derpy really wants to talk about it. Maybe tomorrow we don't have as much going on. We'll get into that a little bit more, but I don't want to ruin it either because I probably will end up seeing it at some point. But hey, we do, like I said, want to thank everybody for checking us out. I hope everybody has a great day. It's going to be nice. Get out and enjoy some of this weather. Have a safe one. And we'll be back tomorrow at 11 o'clock.